All right, here we go. 9:44 a.m. Thursday, northern Thailand, where time doesn't exist, really. And it's another edition of Waking Up in the Dream live Q&A. I'm Jeff Cloud, the author of Waking Up in the Dream, and I love sharing with people tools for inner healing and raising one's conscious awareness. And today's starting topic is your abundance magnet turned on? What does that mean? The answer is, it's definitely turned on because it's on all the time. The question is, are you aware of what you are setting your internal magnet to from moment to moment to moment? And this is why I believe that conscious awareness is the only game in town, because it's responsible for every single thing that shows up in our reality. And if we're not consciously and intentionally creating our day every single morning, and then from moment to moment to moment, basically, we're leaving it up to the automatic reactor inside of us, or the ego, to respond to what's out there. And I see so many people, they wake up. I used to do this all the time. You do until you don't. Until you go, am I paying attention here? What are the actual tools and laws for manifesting my reality? Well, it's not out there. That's the mirror of what we're holding in here and what the collective is holding. And so you've got to understand that it's your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, and the frequency and vibration that you put behind that, as well as, and here's the super, super key part, you're seeing anything you desire and you're feeling it with gratitude as it's already here now. And this is where people get tripped up. And this is why it takes practice. Because if your ego mind sees that something's not here yet, it's going to tell you it's not here yet. And then that telling gives your subconscious the direct instruction. Your subconscious is creating all of it. And your ego going, it's still not here yet. Then it instructs the subconscious to bring you more of still not here yet. When we figure this out and the light bulb goes off, we'll understand that there's nothing more important than tracking our moment-to-moment thoughts and our frequency and vibration. And we may get knocked off. We may get triggered. We may go into judgment. Judgment's the biggest addiction on the planet. Not only will it keep you stuck in the lower dimensional frequencies, but it will magnetize more of everything you're judging to you. And I know this really well. I've said this on almost every live. I used to be a judgeaholic. I was taught to be a judgeaholic in private Catholic schools from the time I was 7 years young. And so let's dive into more around, is your abundance magnet turned on? Because the truth is, it's always on all the time. It's just, it's controlled by what you are focusing on. And one of the biggest programs on the planet is money and the lack of money, because it's fake. And this is how they controlled everybody. The people at the top, they've got all the money because they can just print it. And then they do this program where you have to go to school and get programmed into what to believe, what to think, how to think. Actually, not how to think. They don't teach you how to think. They teach you what to think. And then, for so many people, it's like, okay, have to get a job, have to work my way up, have to prove my worth, give up 65 of the best years of my life before I can become retired. It's a pretty diabolical and powerful program. And until we see it and go, no, it's not for me. And have the courage to go, I'm only going to do what I love. I'm only going to do what I love. Whether it's working with animals, whether it's art, whether it's teaching others, whether it's helping the children, whether it's helping the planet, whether it's creating gardens, whether it's whatever it is, playing music. This is the key. When you commit to only doing what you love and what brings you joy, and that you would pretty much do for free, then you're stepping into your power. Any questions around this? Is anybody triggered yet? Because a lot of times it's real easy to get triggered because you're like, well, fuck, I don't like my job, but I got a car payment and a house payment and I can't just quit my job. And well, really? Is that true? Is it really true that you can't just quit your job? Because that's a pretty powerful belief that'll guaranteed keep you stuck in that. You could quit right now. Is your ego triggered yet? Well, I've got kids. What are you talking about? I don't like this guy. Until we begin to question everything, every single belief that we have, they're going to run us. Those beliefs are just looping over and over and over. And again, I share this on most calls. The belief system is a tiny, 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 tiny prison. It's a prison. Your beliefs wouldn't even fit on the head of a pin. Stay with me. Compared to the infinite abundance and energy that's out there. It's beyond what our current mind with 2, maybe 3 strands of DNA. Maybe you have more. I don't know. But the belief system is what gets given to us. Your beliefs aren't even your own. They all came from sources outside yourself. And when I first heard this from one of my mentors 20-something years ago, it was like my head exploded and the light bulb went off, and it's never turned off since. I was like, oh my God, that's how they keep everybody stuck. They give them this very limiting, tiny belief system. And people are taught that money's scarce, it's hard, it's difficult. And that's one of the biggest programs on the planet, for sure. Then they teach you that you're aging and getting older, and you have a birthday, so you tell everybody how OLD you are. It's all programming. Every one of these trillions of cells in our body is consciously aware, and it's listening and taking instructions in every single moment, as well as the subconscious. Hey, Jim, great to see you. I'm just speaking to Jeff. If it resonates with anybody else, I'm just a guy that's always questioned everything. And what happens when you do that in school and in religion and stuff? You trigger people. You can get in trouble. In private Catholic schools with angry, pissed off nuns every day, it was myself and my best friend, Mike. We were the ones that were always in trouble, standing with our nose in the corner, getting shamed by super judgmental nuns. Every day was Judgment Day. Every day. And it was because we challenged and we questioned everything. It's built in. It's either built into your DNA or it's not. And it's interesting to look out and see that certain people just don't question anything. They're like, all right, I don't understand it. And so instead of judging them like I used to do, now I go, oh, what is that trying to show or teach Jeff? What's that attempting to show and teach me? Because I'm creating all of this. I created all of it with my soul contract before I came down here, everything that's happened to me. And so what do you do if you have the propensity to judge somebody? You catch yourself and you stop and you go, okay, what is the larger truth of what's going on here? And for me, that larger truth is these people or clones or whatever, they're all perfectly playing their role to awaken Jeff and the collective. And you can see it's happening right now. And there's more people that are awake than ever before. And then you've got people that are afraid to speak their truth, because when they do, sometimes their family calls them crazy, their friends call them crazy, whatever. Yeah, I'm fucking crazy. You want to call me crazy? Call me crazy. Because if crazy is wrong, then I don't intend to be right. You know? And until you see that everything in 3D is inverted, 100%, medical system, history, lies, television, programming. And I see people that go, oh, I only watch the shows that are good. I'm like, okay, whatever. I did too. I still watch an occasional movie once in a while. But when you understand that on the television, there's 30 frames per second where there's subliminals in between that you can't see, but your subconscious does. So it's called programming. The following program, they tell you. They have to tell you. So anyway, I'm not saying don't ever watch television. I'm saying have compassion for anyone that you think is not doing it the way you think they should be doing it. And yeah, I'll still stand up and I'll defend the children that are being trafficked, sacrificed, whatever. I'll defend anybody that's being harmed if I can. And especially the animals in the earth. But that's just because that's my understanding that this is how the dream works. Any questions, any challenges, any questions around doing inner healing, any questions around manifestation, which we're going to dive deeper into. If you do have something, be the first one to post the question. Because as soon as you do, anybody else that's watching is going to go, oh, it's safe to share. This is a non-judgmental zone. I won't let anybody come in here and it's not going to happen. So this is a safe zone. So, okay, Rob's. Hey, great to see you, brother. So Rob's has something. So you can work in the windows. Yeah, good for you, brother. You know, we're creating all this. We're creating all of it, and we're deciding how much power we have. And I'm not talking about, I love that, brother. That's part of my morning, create my day mantra every single morning while my head's still on the pillow. I always intentionally create my day. First thing, I never let those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running before I create my day. Because they're going to run and you're going to get everything done. But the majority of people will wake up and go, okay, I got to get up. I got to put on a pot of coffee. I got to get the kids ready for school. I got to check my email. And all of a sudden you're running all those programs. And that stuff's going to get done because you're going to do what you have to do to survive and keep your dream in order. But what most people don't do, and I'm using this term very lightly because I don't want to project that into my reality and create more of that, but from my experience, the majority of people wake up and they decide, hi, Joanne, thank you so much. That keeps me going because sometimes I get on there and I go, dude, people don't want to hear this, or this is just your opinion and your reality. And, you know, I really, really, really do my best. And I teach everyone that I journey with to question everything and to really track the frequency. Is it coming from the heart or is it coming from the ego mind to feel safe or to attempt to prove something? I have nothing to prove. I know nothing. And I talked about that yesterday, the day before on my live. When I decided that I know nothing, that took my ego out of the picture from having to claim all it knows and prove it's good enough and all that. Because for most of my life, or a lot of my life, I didn't believe I was good enough. That was a program I received growing up. And so when I understood and I started studying what beliefs do, where they came from, they're not even ours again. The belief system is a prison. And if that triggers you, I invite you to look at why that triggers you. Because it's really not triggering you, your higher self. It's triggering the ego that wants to remain in its false sense of control in order to feel safe, and there is no control. Hey, brother, great to see you. Yeah, I've never got down there yet. Phuket is a gorgeous island in southern Thailand, and I'm up here just outside of Chiang Mai now, and I love it. And but yeah, if you're getting booms, I love that. So our belief system is a prison, and that's why I run the mantra and I share it with, I don't like the word students, but people that come to journey with me because they resonate with what I'm saying. It's life-changing. You do 90 days, you do even 30 days of this, the tools in here, look at this book. Look how big the print is. You could read this whole book in a day. But if you grab this book, it shows you how to see the programs and what they're doing. And you'll go, oh, that's not very beneficial to be running those limiting beliefs anymore. You fill out this daily tracking sheet, which even a child can do. Bunch of glare there. But it takes 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Maybe you could journal for a half hour when you first start to do the program. Do it for 90 days and see how every single thing in your reality shifts completely. The way you see and the way you create your reality. It'll shift because you'll see the programs if you're willing to be honest with yourself. And the thing is, you cannot dismantle a program unless you can see it. Why? Because the ego will just keep running it because it's working for the ego really well. Yeah, the ego feels like it's in control. There is no such thing as control. It's just not. And it's really important to see these programs. So that's why I do this, because I see the results that my clients get. And I see what it's done for me. It completely changed my life. And I wouldn't even still be here on the planet if it wasn't for these tools. There's no way. Because my programming was so fear-based and limiting and judgmental from the things that I chose as part of my soul contract. This is another huge piece. No matter what happened to you, no matter what, if you're open to understanding that you chose it as part of your soul contract before you came here. Anybody triggered by that statement? Yeah, probably so. Because when I was told that I chose all this, I was like, no way, no way, no way. There's no way I would have chosen this amount of pain and suffering. But that was before I understood how reality was created and how the belief system worked and how I chose to come in to this reality through the mom and dad that I chose. And then I chose for my dad to die in a plane crash when I was 7. I mean, I didn't choose for that to happen to him, but I knew that was going to happen. And I would be the only kid in school without a dad. And it was interesting. And it made me go deeper. And it made me have to really look at some deep wounded programs. And until we're willing to do that, we're just going to keep attracting the same people in relationships. So this is why healing is mandatory. But a lot of people don't want to admit they have anything to heal because it makes them feel messed up. So what they do is they put a big protective layer around that, which is natural. When you're a child and you get traumatized, it's natural to shut down and go, I need to protect myself. But then nobody teaches us how to go in and heal that. There's a lot of people out there. I mean, it's happening more and more now. But I'm just stating this is what happens to the collective. And until they're willing to go, instead of pointing out and judging, everybody's wrong, you did this to me, my father raped me, my mom was an alcoholic, my last boyfriend was abusive and narcissistic. Until you go, why did I choose that? What is the gift in that for me? Why would I have chosen that as part of my soul contract? And until you're willing to look at that, you can't free yourself because you're in a victim mindset. So you've got to go, okay, I didn't like a lot of this stuff. Man, it sucked. Oh my God, it sucked. Why is there so much pain and suffering and deception in this 3D matrix? That's a great question to ask. And that's beginning to go, okay, I'm willing to look a little bit deeper here instead of being what I call in the book, an automatic reactor. That's how most people are kept stuck and enslaved, because they watch the television, all fear-based programming, and they don't question it. And they go along with the crowd. You're not going to get out if you're going along with the crowd, unless the crowd that you're hanging with is a crowd that goes, okay, we came here to change this time. We're going to question everything, and we're going to look within, because that's what creates everything out there. And anytime we have the automatic reaction to judge something out there, we train ourselves to stop, because you can feel that icky, sticky, reactive frequency. It's low vibrational. Judgment is the biggest addiction on the planet, way beyond drugs and alcohol, because of the illusion of separation. So then we're pointing out there, I used to do this, I was a judgeaholic. I was like, I thought the way we healed the planet was to point out everything that was wrong. In a way, we must speak up and shine light on the dark. But what I also didn't realize was that everything that I was judging, I was magnetizing more of that into my reality. And so I had to figure that out and go, all my judgments are about me. When I'm pointing out there and going, that's why I can't be happy, I'm stuck in the illusion. When I go, okay, how is my reality created? So I did some research. I read a ton of books. I got some good stuff out of it, but nothing that I found taught me how to go in and remove the subconscious blocks. Not even The Secret, which was, The Secret. I gave away 11 of them on DVD when it came out. It's a well-done movie. There's some good stuff in there. But they don't teach you how to go in and clear the subconscious blocks, and the subconscious is what's creating everything. So super, super key to go, am I willing to look at my shit? Am I willing to do that instead of projecting? Because until you're willing to, what you're going to magnetize into your reality is people that are holding the same frequency and the same judgments and the same wounds or triggers as you are. That's the way it works. But when you wake up and you go, oh, okay. And then you see people out there that are stuck in victim mode. So what do? You have compassion for them. And you will see that when you hold space as a good listener, a non-judgmental listener, people will start to let down their guard and they'll start to feel heard. But then you're also going to see who is willing to give up their story. And if somebody's been running a story for 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 years, I journey with people that are 80 years young. I never use the word OLD. I will not program my cells to think that they're OLD. I always say young. I invite you to look at that one too. So if you've been running a story for decades and decades, then if I invite you to change your story or to look at it a little bit different, the ego is going to get freaked out because it's going to go, who would I be without my story? Who would I be without my story? Because right now I can blame everything I'm unhappy around because my dad raped me, or my mom was an alcoholic, or my boyfriend was a narcissist, or whatever happened to me. So if you're blaming something in the external, doesn't mean it didn't happen, but let's cycle back to, I chose this because I'm an unlimited divine being. And I decided to come down to earth for a purpose and to go on the greatest roller coaster ride ever, where I was going to have to forget every single thing I know about being unlimited, about being divine, about never having any disease, never having any less than thoughts. Just doesn't exist in the higher frequencies. There is no judgment. Everyone is your mirror. In fact, if you'd like to go deeper, everyone is you. Anybody triggered with that one? Come on, be honest. Of course. What, you mean that the pedophiles and the people that are harming the food, the air, and all the deceptive people in government and all the thieves handling the money, that's me? Doesn't mean you're holding that same frequency, but there is no separation. So here's another huge key. In order to move into higher vibrational timelines, you have to be in your heart. You guys know this. However, yeah, Jim. So let me speak about this one because this is a huge one for me. Or this was a big realization for me. Because I was sharing about the PEDOS 30 years ago. I grew up in Catholic schools and I was an altar boy in Catholic church. I know about this stuff. It was part of my soul contract, so I could play some type of role in clearing it. So yeah. So here's the key to freeing yourself, one of them. You must be willing to forgive everyone 100%. Otherwise, you're the one holding that frequency of non-forgiveness, which is going to attract more and more and more timelines, events, and people into your life to do what? To give you another opportunity to see that you're holding this stuff, and it'll just keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. Any wound you don't clear, what's the higher self soul going to do? It's going to send you another opportunity to remember, whether it takes 1 year, 10 years, or 10 more lifetimes, because there is no such thing as time. So we're just floating around, we're doing what we do, and we're working with our conscious awareness if we choose to, and we're going, okay. We must figure out how they've been keeping people stuck and trapped and recycled and feeding off their energy in this 3D matrix in order to move out of it. That takes 100% ownership. Any questions from anybody? There's got to be a question out there. Come on, somebody be the one to break the thing. Because anybody in here that asks a question is my hero, and we're all sending you love for having the courage to just go, yeah, I got this. This is coming up for me. I still haven't cleared this. I'm like, high five. I love you. I mean, I love everybody, but if you'll ask the question, we'll dive into it. And it doesn't mean that I have the answer, but asking the question is the key to freeing and healing yourself and going far beyond that limiting belief system, which is really a prison. Okay. Marietta asked a question. Thank you. What's the evil's end game? As far as I know, and I know nothing, it's to continue to feed off your energy and to keep you in fear and to keep you trapped. But if you decide that you don't believe in that, or you're not going to fall for that, and you go, I'm going to operate in my heart every single day. And I'm going to practice. First thing in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to go into gratitude. And I share this in my videos and my YouTube channel, which, let me pop that in here really quick because there's a lot of good stuff there. If you're like me and you're just super hungry to accelerate the awakening process. In other words, accelerate means to figure it out as fast as possible and not have to spend, I don't know what, oh, it's going to 2 different groups. Okay, I'm seeing double in my comments. Okay, so got to question every single belief. And here's why I created this process. It's not because I'm so great. I never planned on writing a book. I don't have any credentials to write a book, but I've read a lot of books and I created this sheet. Why is this sheet so important? It's not because I'm trying to sell you something. You can go get this information on my YouTube channel. But if you're willing to invest in yourself a tiny, tiny amount, $33, and then go watch the YouTube channels, you'll start dismantling programs like on the first day. Because the sheet gets you to practice being the conscious creator. Because if you don't, you're going to get distracted more than likely. It even happens to me. Hey, Asta, great to see you in New Orleans. Yeah, thank you. Great to see you. Okay, so here's a question, and I'll do my best to come back on track. So once we release the fear and forgive all people and ourselves, we are free from the soul trap. That's definitely a part of it. Absolutely. And thank you for sharing that, Melissa. Okay, so let's look at this a little deeper. If you're open to understanding that you created every single thing that happened to you, and no, I can't prove it. So at some point, we're just going to have to trust what works best for me. And what works best for Jeff was I got little bits and pieces through doing research and through other people that seemed to always be in their heart and holding a higher frequency. And I'm like, what's your secret? Oh, I forgive everybody. I don't hold anything against anybody. Because guess what? If I do, then my magnet is holding that lack of forgiveness, and it's going to attract another instance, person, situation, or whatever that my higher self is going to send down into my reality. It's built, our ascension's built in. That's the great news. It's built in. So you can either struggle and point out there that everything's wrong and these people are doing shit to you, which some of them are, because we still haven't freed the planet yet, but it's coming, it's happening. We still have to pay to live on a planet that should have been 100% free. I get it. That pisses me off too, okay? So Jeff still gets triggers. It's just that when he feels it, he goes right in, he goes, okay, what's the gift? Can I change that right now in this situation? No. So let's go back to gratitude. I'm so grateful. I'm surrounded by abundance. So let's talk about the title of this thing. And if anybody has a question, pop it in, please. Because I say a lot of the same things because they work. I'm all about a simple framework that works every day from moment to moment to moment. And I know the belief system is a prison. And I know every trigger is something that is showing me where I'm still getting caught up in the external illusion. And yes, I'll still get pissed if I see somebody harming a child or an animal or whatever, but I navigate through it differently now. If that makes any sense. 11 people, 11 comments, 33 minutes. I love it. Things line up. When you start to play in the frequencies with a higher level of conscious awareness, you start to see that the universe is totally responding to you. It's just that when we're triggered and we're judging and we're blaming stuff out there and we're having thoughts of needing more to be happy. And let's dive into this because this is a huge, huge topic. Needing more. So if I ask most people when they come and begin their 90-day journey with me, what is it that you'd like to create? And what is it that maybe you'd like to remove? And one of the first things they all say is, I desire to have enough money so I never have to work again, and that I can go out and do only that which I love to do. Whether it's travel, help people, create a foundation, da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay, makes total sense. Because we never should have had to work to pay to live on this planet. The controllers did that. And that's crumbling as we speak. And we knew it was going to happen in this lifetime. So I would say get excited and stay excited because that's the highest frequency. So here's the trick about money. One of them is, if you're not happy inside already, all the money in the world isn't going to make you happy. Who's triggered by that? Because I know part of your ego is going to go, well, it sure would make things a lot easier. I understand. I get it. I'm all about going deep to the root, though, not just to the next thing that's going to make me happy, and then I'm not going to be happy after that, if that makes sense. You're an unlimited being. Unlimited. I have everybody that journeys with me write that down in capital letters and put it on their bathroom mirror, put it on the rear view mirror of their car, put alarms on their phone to remind themselves throughout the day. Because until you believe, and not every belief is a lie, but all limiting beliefs are a lie. That's key. Until you understand that you're unlimited, you're not going to operate as an unlimited being. It starts in your mindset first. It starts in understanding who you are. It's far beyond this human body. You're creating all of this. But you had to forget to come down here. That was part of the game. But you knew that at some point you would awaken. So you went, yeah, I'll go down there. I'll go down there into that dark, low vibrational deal. Not all of it is. I mean, look at Mother Earth. I live in nature, and I'll always live in nature. I'll never live in the city again. Because I go on walks every single morning with the wild dogs that have accepted me and adopted me into their tribe because of my frequency. Nothing else. I made them feel safe, and they go, okay, this guy's operating on our frequency. Let's go hang out because we have fun every day. So Mother Earth is giving nothing but love. Mother Earth is doing nothing but providing abundance in every moment. There is no lack. It's only the program of lack that was created by those that decided to control us. And they're all being exposed now. A lot of them have been removed. That's a whole nother thing. You can go to my Telegram channel if you're interested in that, but it's just another rabbit hole. You know, it can be a distraction. But yeah, thanks, Jim. Yeah, it's built in. So, is your abundant magnet turned on? Because everybody's kind of controlled by money, including myself. I mean, I have to pay rent. I've narrowed it down to like nothing. I mean, I'm living like a king in Thailand for 10 times cheaper, at least, than I was paying to live in California. And how I ended up here is a whole nother story, and it wasn't planned. And I just love it here. But yeah, there's some programming going on here that's real heavy. I just have compassion for it. The Thai people are all in their hearts because they're Buddhist, but they also believe the tell lie vision. So when it tells them to go get another BOOSTER or whatever, they just go do it. And it's sad. And it's especially sad when I see the children wearing masks and being taught to be in fear of the air and stuff. So anyway, that's a little sidebar. But is your abundance magnet turned on? Well, your magnet's on all the time. So if you're not experiencing the level of abundance that you believe, this is really key here, that you think or believe that you need to have to be happy, then put that under a microscope. Because until we're willing to put ourselves under a microscope, the ego is still going to run those safety programs and those limiting beliefs. And it's going to tell you why. It's going to justify why you don't have what you would desire when you're an unlimited being. And I know the system is set up to keep you trapped, but that's all imploding right now. So let's go into 100% accountability. If the reason why you're not happy or you're not abundant, you're blaming it on the system or something out there, you're screwed. Because you're giving your power away. You are the system. You're creating all of this. And your greatest invitation is to understand how your reality is created from moment to moment to moment to moment. And that's why I share these tools, because this is the answer. Or certainly the answer that I've found that frees people, because I see it every month when I journey with them. They're like, oh my God, day one, they begin to see, I've been running this program my whole life. I didn't even realize it. And I kept justifying it over and over and over and over because I didn't know how to prove that anything was different. That's why I created the Waking Up in the Dream course, because it's the simplest, go right to it right now. As long as you're willing to be honest, you're going to free yourself. If you're blaming things in the external, you're not. And you're going to have to get another opportunity where it's going to show up over and over and over and over and over and over until you go, okay, this isn't working. I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. I'm going to stop blaming, and I'm going to look at Jeff, and I'm going to go, what's going on here? This isn't working. Blaming other things and judging other things isn't working. So I'm going to dig a little bit deeper. So then I get into my thoughts, my words, and my beliefs, and my vibration is that's what I learned how to implant into my subconscious, which is the magnet. It's the creator. And the subconscious can only take a direct order. Your desire is either here now or it's not. You either see it and feel it and know it as an unlimited divine creator. God didn't go, I hope I'm going to create something. I need to create something. I want to create something. I'm going to try to create something. Sorry, I'm using my lame-ass voice, but it's weak. Those are all spell words. Want, wish, try, hope, need, should, going to. Those all tell your subconscious one thing and one thing only. It's still not here yet. When you get this, you're going to get it so strong and you're going to go, holy shit, that's how they kept everybody trapped. Once the light bulb goes off and you see the program starts to just fall apart. And you may have a limiting belief or a judgment, but you'll start to feel them in your body. Use this process, I guarantee it'll shift everything. That's why I love doing this. I came here to awaken and heal, and then to help every single person in the collective that I can, that's interested in doing that sort of thing. So, any questions before I go? And thank you for showing up and staying on here. And if you feel like anybody would benefit from this, please share it. Because you're not going to hear this on the news. You're not going to get this in school yet. The newer school systems are coming. And this stuff will be taught in the newer schools. There's no reason for your child to have to go to school for 12 or 16 years. Thank you, Jim. That really keeps me going. Big love to you, and thanks for being here at this time. So yeah, a child doesn't need to go to school for 12 to 16 years to get taught what to think. A child must be taught how to think and never allow their imagination to get squashed. That's the first thing that they do in the Rockefeller school system. Sit down and shut up. It's not natural for a kid to sit in a freaking wooden chair all day long and listen to somebody that's been programmed by the Rockefellers spewing their shit, thinking that they're helping you. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good people out there that are in their heart, but you know what I mean. It's a trap. It was created to create worker slaves. So let's dive into, is your abundant magnet set properly? That should be the title. Because it's on. It's turned on. There's no way it could not be on. As long as you're still in a human body, you are attracting. You are creating. And what's creating? Your thoughts, your beliefs, your words, your vibration and frequency, and your imagination, which they attempt to squash as soon as possible when you come into the planet. So these aren't theories. This is what happened, but you knew it was going to happen. And you knew that eventually you would awaken. So, do you intentionally create your reality first thing every single morning while your head is still on the pillow? Most people don't. All it takes is practice. Once you see what it's doing and the synchronicities I call it magic that's showing up in your reality. It's really not magic. It's just you understanding how you create your reality. But if you wake up and go, I hope it's going to be a good day, and then you wait to see if it's going to be a good day by looking out there at all the 3D fear, drama, lack, pain. They just keep projecting that over and over and over. Why? Because it keeps you in a low frequency and it keeps you out of your heart. And I'm not saying that you're operating out of your heart. I'm talking about the collective. That's been the program for thousands of years. So when you awaken and you go, I'm going to love on every one of these trillions of cells that's been unconditionally loving me without me even having to think about it. Your mind can't even process what's happening in your body right now. It can't. You can try. You can go, okay, well, my heart's pumping blood and my digestive system and my liver's doing this and my kidney's doing that. You can't process it all. Maybe you can. If you can, high five. It means you've really got a lot of channels operating at one time with your conscious awareness. I'm not able to currently, but I understand what's going on. So the first thing I do is love on every one of my cells. They receive it. They're consciously aware. They're listening to every single thought and thing that I program into them. So I play with reversing aging. How many people here play with reversing aging every single day? I don't know that many. So if you're not giving your cells the instruction to reverse aging, then, and you're using words like OLD and hard and difficult, and what do you think's going to show up? The subconscious, the reality can only mirror back to you what you're telling it you believe and the frequency that you're vibrating on. You getting that? It's not about hard work. That's bullshit. No pain, no gain. It's bullshit. That's one of the most diabolical 3D inverted statements ever. No pain, no gain. How young am I? It's a good one because that's what I use, you know? Don't ever use OLD. Don't do it. Catch it. Understand. You're either programming your reality in every moment or you're being programmed by the external. Your choice. It's time to take back your power. So if you're not consciously creating your reality every single morning, first thing, before those 50 to 80,000 thoughts start running that are going to run all day long, then I would ask yourself why. And I would begin to do this process. And if it's not this process, then do another process that you feel is better or is working for you. But to me, I'm all about simple and quick. So I created one because I couldn't find it. The 3 little simple pieces. Inner healing, got to do it. There's no way around it. Come on, men. 8 out of 10 of my clients are women. The women are showing up. The men, and I know there's a lot of men out there, so don't get triggered, men. I know you're out there. I'm just talking about the collective. Men don't want to admit that they're wounded because it makes them feel less than. And they've been taught, don't be a pussy, man up. That's why men have more heart attacks and, you know, holding all that pain and that wound in your body for your life. Of course you're going to drink alcohol or try and get away from it or whatever. Yeah, I did too. Survival mechanism, but it's a trap and it's poison. Alcohol is poison, man. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not a judge of anybody that still drinks or I'm not a judge. That's just not a frequency that I desire to hold. But if you're harming people, then you're going to be exposed. That's all there is to it. But we must forgive everyone. That includes the worst of the worst of the worst. That includes Gates, all these must forgive them. Doesn't mean that we don't hold them accountable for the harm that they're doing. Awesome, brother. Yeah, I get it too. I get it. It's a real trap. That's why it's available everywhere. I mean, I'm in Thailand, man. These people work as hard as anybody I've ever seen in the world. And alcohol and toxic, poisonous Coca-Cola and all those, they're all available, all available, all available. Why? You go into most store, it's all poison. Especially the corporations, the soulless corporations. That's why I do my best to never give them any money. That's why my book's not on Amazon. So anyway, I intend that something here has planted a seed, and I'm just reinforcing it for me. So, I'd come back and watch this if you didn't take some notes. I know on social media, it's like people aren't seeing my lives as much. It says I have 9 people on here. At one time, I think there was 13. But I used to have like 10 times that much. I don't know what happened. It doesn't matter. I'm sharing, and, the people that are holding the same frequency and that are hungry, we're finding each other. You can see it all over the world. Some of my deepest connections are with people I have not met yet in person. And I look forward to meeting them when I begin to travel and take this process on the road to hang out with people for 3 days or 7 days in some wonderful places. And we're really going to go deep together and create some great stuff, because that's what we're here to do. We're creators. We're not slaves. We're not victims. But we have to, we got to go in and do the inner healing. We have to dismantle the belief system and see it for the prison that it is, how limiting it is. And then we have to consciously and intentionally practice creating our ideal reality from moment to moment to moment. And so, anyway, check in. See what your beliefs are around money. Do you feel that it's hard, difficult? That's what most people believe. Do you believe that money is going to make you happy? It's okay to have a ton of money. It's okay to have all the money in the world, as long as you're helping other people and you understand that money's a tool. It's not the key to your happiness. The key to your happiness is self-love and serving the collective in whatever way brings you joy. Whether it's working with animals, whether it's doing art, whether it's teaching people how to cook healthy food, whether it's whatever. That's the key. That's called alignment. So look, understand that your magnet is on all the time, 24/7, and you're the programmer. So if you're still having judgments, fears, any thoughts around lack, look at it. It's a lie. You're unlimited. I guarantee you. I guarantee that you are unlimited. And if that triggers somebody that goes, well, I still have to work in this shitty system and pay taxes. You don't have to pay taxes. IRS is a 100% illegal corporation that's not even based in the U.S. They were set up in Puerto Rico, I believe. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right. You may have to pay taxes on, food and goods, because that keeps your water going and things like that. But yeah, all this is being dismantled. Question everything. Question everything. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And yeah, this is my thing here. If you're interested in coming and journeying for 90 days with me, man, we will blow doors off of that limiting belief system. We will address healing. We might have some tears on the call. It's okay. It's very healing. And I'm usually the first one to get tears in my eyes, because I can see that the other person's getting ready to well up. And I hold that space for them, non-judgmental, loving space. And I give everybody the greatest thanks for being willing to look at their stuff and coming and doing this, because they're going to be able to go out and do it for other people. So, yeah. So it's great. So anyway, big love to everybody that, hung on here and that is willing to share this stuff with other people that are open-minded. It's really, really key. So, and I have a private group called the Waking Up in the Dream Activation Portal. I pretty much share the same stuff that I share on my Facebook page, but it's a group of like-minded people. So I'm sorry that went into two different comments. I'll shorten that up so it'll just come into one. But yeah, thanks everybody. Sending you big love from Thailand. Stay excited. And yeah, if the tools resonate with you and you'd like to, get on a call, reach out. I do a free call with anybody that's interested and see if you'd like to come and do the journey. It's not a sales call, because I don't desire to journey with anybody for 90 days. It's not like, let's do this. I don't want to pull anybody uphill. I won't do it anymore. But you'll learn something good on the call, and no judgment. So anyway, big love from Thailand. Have a gorgeous day. I'm off to go see the wild doggies and do some more adventures. So thanks for tuning in. Big love.